Welcome to the ESU Coaches Show. I'm Chuck Seese. We are at Pub 447 on Route 447 in East Stroudsburg. I'm here with the head coach, Jimmy Terwilliger, and Coach Bob Moylan, that everybody calls Coach, I'm told, Jimmy.
Well, he's a coach. He's a longtime football coach, and he's at Pub 447, but he knows some football, too.
So, Bob, talk about this place. This place has just exploded. It seems that year after year, there's always a new addition coming on. From the time you took the place over, people had known it as McDorf's for years, and then it was Johnny O's for a while, and then it got taken over, and it has really exploded since then.
You know, we're very fortunate. We have a lot of people that are, in the service industry, and we just come up with an idea to do something here. There's nothing that's been planned. Everything is off you look around, you'd say, geez, I have a great plan in place. We just did it as we came about. We saw we wanted to do a couple things here and there. We jumped on it. We had a need for big pavilions. We jumped on that. And we've been just continually building each year.
So it's not just folks coming here for a great meal or a drink after work. I mean, you've got room enough for big parties out here now.
Well, the big pavilion up there, we built that because we had a lot of weddings that were coming in here. And we had a lot of major parties that come in. We sponsored the football, the coaches' night, during the summertime. So it's been a great atmosphere. Probably the atmosphere is what brings most people in here.
I don't think there's any doubt about it. Talk about your years in coaching. A long-time high school coach. You coached at East Stroudsburg College in Mansfield, Mount Olive, New Jersey. You've been all over this area.
Yeah, well, I started out coaching at Randolph High School back in 1977. And then the owner of this place, I coached him when he was a freshman in '78. And then I was able to coach both of his sons through their high school career. And we won the state championship with those two kids. And I was at Mansfield University back in the 80s, early 80s, when they still had a program. And, Coach Dowd was very nice to beat our butts every time we played him. So it's been great. And it was football with these guys. Jimmy, he played with my son over here at the South. My daughter, his sister played together. So it's a great opportunity for us to merge with ESU.
Yeah, and it's a great relationship. And, Coach, you can't have enough places like this that are a booster for your program, really.
Well, you think about when we have camps, when you play a Saturday afternoon game, what better to come out underneath a pavilion, have a great bite to eat. You got great music. It's always something going. This is a live action place, and I'm surprised to hear that there's no plan here. I was every other month I come by here, they're building something, and I guess that's when you have football people involved, things get done. So it's been a great thing for us.
We've got more to come here. Thanks for hosting us tonight, Coach. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Make sure you stop down to Pub 447 here on Route 447 between Route 209 and Route 80 right here in East Stroudsburg. We've got more to come. We've got some coaches. We've got some players to join us tonight, so stay tuned. We've got live coverage of ESU and Millersville Saturday afternoon at 12:30. The kickoff at 1 o'clock on Bigfoot Country 103.1. So I hope you'll be able to tune in. Bob Bertain will be on the call on Bigfoot Country 103.1. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Just got some good B-roll right there. We're back at Pub 447 for the ESU Coaches Show. I'm Chuck Seese, and I mistakenly said that the Warriors are going to Millersville. They're going to Shippensburg this weekend, and we will have live coverage of that ball game coming up at 1:30 or 12:30 on Saturday afternoon. It's a 1 o'clock kick at Shippensburg. Shippensburg is playing a lot of young players. It's amazing whether it's because of injury, and I think in a lot of cases it is from what we're hearing. I know Jamie Galdieri talks with other training staff, his colleagues and his cohorts. They say that injuries, are a tough spot. A lot of teams are having tough spots this year, but they've played some young guys. You've got some young guys in your lineup. I mean, look at the young players that have made impacts in your games this year. And they played a big role on Saturday against Bloomsburg, where you got your first win there since 2005, when a young quarterback by the name of Jimmy Terwilliger was going to take his team to the national semifinals that year. It's been a long time since then, but it was nice to get a win up there at Bloomsburg.
Back to what you said, injuries are part of the game. Yeah, and you train, you work players, and you look for opportunities to play, and you kind of have to have a next man up mentality. Both these two squads, East Stroud and Ship, we've we've had our fair share of injuries in between, but it's given opportunities for people to step up in different areas. So I look at this as being a great game, and they're playing some young guys. We've got some guys in different positions, and I look forward to Saturday. It's going to be a heck of a game. But you mentioned the Bloom game. In 2005, it was a little bit different scenario. What a great opportunity to finish last week's game at Bloom. I'd never been around a goal line stand like that. Tip my hat to the defense, the entire staff, the guys that really laid it down the line. 4 downs from the 2-yard line. It didn't get much sweeter than that.
Yeah. And it really gives you a lot of window into what the future of this team looks like when you have so many young players that are making contributions.
When you look at who we are and where we're going, there are no roads right now. Take one out of Back to the Future. But these young players are playing, and they're learning, though, from great leaders. This doesn't happen overnight. We've got a tremendous group of seniors. I looked at it yesterday. We've got 20 seniors on this team, Chuck. And every one of those seniors are guys that came here and are 4-year guys. Some are 5-year guys, and some are even 6-year guys. And the retention of those players means a lot to me, to be able to see a young man to come through here from his high school to college and be able to finish his career here is something. And they've provided great leadership to those young players. So I hope that they're all like sponges. You're going to meet one of them tonight. But we have a great future ahead of us because of the guys that are busting their tail right now to do things the right way, and I think that's a testament to them.
Again, coverage of the game at Shippensburg will start at 12:30 on Bigfoot Country 103.1 with the kickoff just after 1 o'clock. ESU and Shippensburg are among 4 teams that are tied in the PSAC East right now, all at 2 wins and 3 losses, and that just shows you how competitive the PSAC East is. We've got more to come from Pub 447. It's the ESU Coaches Show. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the ESU Coaches Show. I'm Chuck Seese. We are here at Pub 447. We tape our shows on a Thursday night, and next week we're going to be at Teddy's University. So come out and join us next Thursday night at 6:30. If you'd like to be part of the Warrior Coaches Show, you can sit here and be part of our audience. I'm here with Billy Inge, a former Warrior player and now a member of the Warrior coaching staff who handles the defensive backs and also the co-coordinator of special teams. So the first thing I want to ask you, Billy, is making a transition from player to coach. We saw you, wrap up your career wearing a Warrior jersey, and it seemed like the next spring you were back on the field as a coach. How was that transition like for you? And obviously it deals a lot with your passion that you showed us when you played for the Warriors that really stayed with you as becoming a coach.
I think, it's a lot of the same things. A passion for the game first and foremost. I think a passion for the game is important. Attention to detail. I think some of the differences, the transition is it's less physical and more mental, and it's a true leadership position. Sometimes when you play, leadership is an option. You have a few guys or a group of guys who are leaders. You have to be a leader and a role model, and have the mental part of the game be first and foremost, as a coach compared to when you're a player.
When did you realize that was going to be the next step that you wanted to take in your life?
I didn't realize it, to be honest with you. I thought it would be a great opportunity for me. I thought coaching, if I couldn't, play, I kind of thought, in my head, I'll take football as far as it'll take me. And I was actually coaching a youth camp, and Coach Terwilliger, head coach, asked me if I wanted to start coaching. And he talked me into it. He told me how good of an opportunity it would be and what he thinks I can do in it. And I met Coach Lackey and Coach Daniels the next day, and I've been there ever since.
Yeah, and it's not like this. They don't. It's not like there's no coaches that have ever come out of East Stroudsburg University, so it couldn't have been like a major surprise.
Yeah, it sounded like a good idea.
So, was there an adjustment you had to make in, or did you see the leadership that you had on the field as a way to transition into coaching? I guess.
Well, yeah, I think it helped, and then also, playing at the same place that you coached, right away. There's also that tough part of creating that line, between coach and player, with guys that you share the locker room with, and really I don't give the credit to me making the transition, but I think they've made the transition so much easier for me, and I'm truly blessed to coach with people that were role models to me and that coached me, and also to be able to coach and help guys that I care about that are friends to me, from your playing days and our family, get to where they want to in their lives. So
Let's talk a little bit about special teams. Special teams, you got kick return, you got punt return, you got punt, field goal, and extra point. So obviously those are different skills that you need different players for. But let's specifically talk about kickoff return and kickoff coverage. How different are those teams? Is it the same pool of players that you're pulling from to play special teams, or are you pulling from all over on the roster to find guys that need to be in the position you need them to be in?
I think definitely, like you said, there's certain skill sets that have to carry over. Special teams is a group from the offense and the defense, for the most part, and they have to come together on special teams to form one unit. Kickoff, they got to be able to run downfield, beat blocks, make tackles. On the kickoff return team, you kind of get guys who are great blockers or electric with the ball in their hands. But I think at the end of the day, special teams, it's about, first and foremost, guys that are selfless, guys that are willing to put their bodies on the line, and they have a passion for the game, and they really want to do the things that may not show up on a stat sheet in order to win the game. So all in all, they have to have that first and foremost, and we can make it work.
It's interesting because last week there was such a high percentage of plays that were involved in the scoring than on special teams. And I'm not talking extra points or field goals, right? We had the field goal attempt that got knocked away and returned for a touchdown, a blocked punt that got landed on for a touchdown, and then the young man we're going to talk to in a little bit, Justin Cook, was an electrifying 100-yard kickoff return. That's 3 scores. It just shows you how important special teams are.
So pivotal, and we talk about the different phases of the game. You have, offense and you have defense, and that middle part, the special teams, every play is so much more important because on offense you might get 60 snaps. Defense you might play 60, 65 snaps. On special teams, you might only get 15 snaps, and one error on special teams can, mean a lot more than it might mean on offense or defense. So those are big plays.
So you made the transition from player to coach. Where do you see yourself in the future? What do you see Billy Inge doing in 15 years?
To be honest, I'm a simple guy. I try to take it, one day at a time, live in the present. Really, what I see myself in 15 years is wherever this game of football will take me, and wherever being the best person I can be will take me. As long as I keep trying to do that, I think I'll end up in the right places.
Billy, we certainly appreciate a couple of minutes of your time tonight. Get after it on Saturday when the Warriors take on Shippensburg. Thanks. Appreciate you. We'll be back with more of the ESU Coaches Show. Once again, we are at Pub 447 here in East Stroudsburg. Next week, we'll be at Teddy's. If you'd like to stop on by, we tape the show every Thursday night at 6:30. We've got more to come from Pub 447 and the ESU Coaches Show, so stay with us. Welcome back to the ESU Coaches Show. I'm Chuck Seese. Live coverage of Warrior football every Saturday afternoon on Bigfoot Country 103.1. And this Saturday, the Warriors going to Shippensburg to take on the Raiders. We'll have live coverage at 12:30 with the kickoff at 1 o'clock. I am in the middle of the heart of the ESU defense right now. The only guy missing from this picture is Jahan Worth, and we talked to him last week here on the Warrior Coaches Show. To my right, Sergei Felizor. To my left, Jacob Keane. Sporting the hat tonight. Did you just come out of a tree stand somewhere?
I don't got a haircut, so I had to make sure I had the cap on.
Well, that's all right. We've all got hair, Jake. We've all got hair. I mean, what's with the hat?
I don't even know. Look good on him, though.
Serge, I want to talk to you about your time here at East Stroudsburg University. One of the things that Coach Twig and I mentioned were the injuries that this team has suffered. You're a player that has suffered a season-ending injury and have worked your way back into the lineup, and now you lead this team in tackles this year. Talk about what that was like, first of all, when you had to be away from the team because you physically couldn't be with the team. And that had to be, a lot of mental wear and tear on you.
Yeah, that was probably the hardest thing that I ever had to face. 18 years old, Jamie said, the doctor said I couldn't even play anymore, but I came back.
That's okay.
I had a brain game. We got to redo that.
No, you're good.
Oh yeah, the doctor said I might not be able to play no more. And Jamie got me right. I was in there every day. Mentally, emotionally, physically, it was hard. My guys got me through it. My man Jake, my house, 208. Yeah, and God.
What has it meant for you to be able to play at such a level that you're playing at now?
I mean, I just put my trust in God, all my faith in God, and let Him work His magic.
You work magic on his hat? I'm just busting you, buddy. Take me back to that four-play goal line stand last week at Bloomsburg. Take us into the middle of that. What were you guys thinking in the huddle? What are you guys thinking on the sideline? Timeouts were a factor there because Bloomsburg was calling their timeouts. Then they had no timeouts left. So what was going through your guys' mind as the defense, and, knowing that you had the ability to make the plays that you did?
I would say as a unit, we were all confident that we were going to get the stop, man. We all trust each other. We practice every day. We live together. Everything we do is together. So we knew the D-line was going to get the push, the backers were going to fill the gaps, and the secondary was going to take care of the outside, and it worked out well for us.
And, the first time you've beaten Bloomsburg at Bloomsburg since 2005, what does that mean to the team?
I would say it means a lot, but I wouldn't say, where we beat them matters. Like we beat them last year at home, but we're not worried about home and away. We're worried about getting that win wherever it's at versus whoever it's against.
And what do you guys know about the Millersville attack that they're going to bring your way this week? I know you guys study film all the time. Talk about that.
Yeah, Shippensburg's a pass-heavy team. They got a good run game, good running back, good O-line. It's going to be a good game, but we've been preparing all week for them, so we're confident going into that game as well.
Serge, I'm going to throw a wild card at you here. What's tougher, covering a running back out of the backfield or covering a tight end who's going out on a pass pattern?
Easily a running back. Tight end's not that really hard to guard.
All right. Okay. Fair enough. You grew up in Hightstown, New Jersey. Now, I got to ask, because apparently there's been some sort of discussions going on amongst some of the members of the team. What constitutes South Jersey? What constitutes North Jersey? What constitutes Central Jersey? If Hightstown, New Jersey is not the center of the state, I'm out.
It is in the center.
It's perfectly in the center. It should be the center of New Jersey.
It's Central Jersey. There's the middle of Jersey.
What was one of your favorite things to do growing up in Hightstown?
Honestly.
Next question.
Next question. Honestly, probably just working out with my guys. There's not really that many things to do in Hightstown.
Taylor ham or pork roll?
Pork roll.
Pork roll is the way to go. That's the right answer, Jake. If anybody ever asks you, it's pork rolls, not Taylor. I mean, Taylor ham's a brand. It's not, it's a James Franklin likes his pork roll and cheese sandwiches. That's one of his faves.
Sure does.
What are your plans to after your days at ESU are finished? What do you think you'd be doing with your future?
Right now I'm really just trying to focus on enjoying these last 4 games with my guys, but I do have a feeling that I want to get into football coaching because I love the game. Ever since I was a kid, it's been my favorite thing in the world. So I think whatever I do has got to be something centered around football.
I thank you guys for being here tonight. We appreciate your time. Hope you guys have a great effort against Shippensburg this Saturday. We'll have live coverage of it at 12:30 with the kickoff at 1 o'clock as the Warriors try to make it 2 wins in a row Saturday afternoon. I'm Chuck Seese. We've got more to come from Pub 447 as the ESU Coaches Show continues. Stay with us. Welcome back to Pub 447. We got players over here eating wings, and Justin Cook is with us. Justin is a member of the ESU Warrior football team who had a school record and has now officially been changed. We did some lobbying for you. I mean, you asked Ryan Long. We were texting Saturday night. That kick's got to be 100. You had 1 foot in the end zone and 1 foot outside of the end zone. It is a school record 100-yard kickoff return, part of the big game against Bloomsburg last Saturday, and I watched that tape over and over. We talked about this before we got on the show here tonight. You watch the video over and over again. The first thing you notice is the blocking was perfect. Talk about the blocking.
Well, the blocking, I'm glad you brought that up because a lot of the times on kick returns, the blocking and the special teams unit kind of gets overlooked by the returner actually returning it. So I definitely we blocked it perfectly.
What was the call?
Coach Hags coached it up as a right trap. So we would shift everybody to the right, and the hole would be right there. I got a shout out for sure, Ray Simmons and the Esky Lopez for making the 2 key blocks to open up the hole so I can just skate through untouched.
The second thing you notice if you watch the play over and over again like I did is that there are 2 officials that are on either side of the field at about the 50-yard line. Justin takes the kick from the goal line. As he starts up that sideline, those 2 guys both saw you coming like a freight train, and they're like, we got to get moving and see if we can. And the one guy on the right side of the field is like, I'm going to try to keep up with this guy. And you went, boom. I mean, it was like the Roadrunner. I mean, it really was. And watching those guys was so funny. Now, people might be surprised to know that you played defensive. Well, maybe not. Wide receivers usually play defensive back in high school before they have to make a decision. But that ball hawk mentality came with you as a defensive back. You led the state of Pennsylvania with 11 interceptions in your senior year. I mean, that's more than 1 a game.
Yes, sir. It was definitely a great experience. I kind of got halfway through the season and started to realize the record a little bit. But I kind of just focused on just winning because that's really what I wanted from my team. It was my senior year. I finally got a chance to play and everything. So I wanted us to go as far as we could. But the record was in the back of my mind, and I actually came short a little bit. I tied it. But
that's true. It was tied.
Yeah,
but it stood since 1973. Nobody else had done that.
Yeah, so it's definitely a memory that I always cherish and I always appreciate.
So let me ask you, now that you're having success in the field as a wide receiver and as a kick returner, which do you prefer, running pass routes or running back kicks?
Well, it's kind of the best of both worlds. With the kick return, it kind of brings me back to like a backyard football kind of sort of because you got to run away from everybody. But with receiver, you kind of have to. It's kind of more strategic. You can kind of break down. It's kind of like a chess match. But I think I definitely say kick return just because it kind of brings me back to like a little kid just running around in the backyard with my best friends.
Yeah, it's a little more crazy than a pass pattern. All right, so now if you guys come back from a game, maybe it's maybe we go back to the first week of the season when you have a Thursday night opener and then you're not playing again until the next Saturday, and the coach says you guys are off for the next day. I don't want to see you again tomorrow. I don't want to see you until the next day. After that, what are you going to do for that day, and how do you decompress after a practice and after a ball game when you beat Bloomsburg and you have that bus ride home and the adrenaline's pumping? I've been on the bus with the team. That adrenaline is pumping. So how do you decompress after a big event like that?
Well, how I like to decompress is normally we play on Sundays. We play on Saturdays, excuse me. Right. So on Sundays, I like how decompress is I like to clean, which is kind of weird because I'm in college now, so I didn't really have to clean at home a lot, but now I'm in college, so I like to clean. It kind of relaxes me. It kind of brings me back and relaxes my muscles, and it's pretty slow, and I really appreciate it.
Something you can take your time and do at your own pace.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right, that's a good answer. All right, Desert Island, you're all by yourself. You got 1 movie, you got 1 album, you got 1 video game, and apparently there's electricity to play the video game on that deserted island. But what are you bringing?
All right, so I'm sorry. So what was the first one?
1 album.
1 album. So the first album, I think I say Wasteland by Brent Fires.
Okay.
Wasteland by Brent Fires.
1 movie.
1 movie, I say The Breakfast Bunch.
The Breakfast Bunch.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
And 1 video game.
1 video game, I say Madden. Any Madden. It doesn't matter. Any Madden.
Justin, I appreciate the time. Have a great game on Saturday. ESU and Shippensburg Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock. We'll have live coverage at 12:30. Bob Bertain will be on the call. And also a reminder that coming up, there's an event that a couple of players here at ESU are close to with the Pocono Family YMCA. They've got the Scott Ewing Memorial 5K and the 1 mile fun walk. You can get more information at the Pocono Family YMCA by calling 570-421-2525. But that's coming up in just a few short weeks. Next Thursday night, we will be at Teddy's at the base of the Interborough Bridge in Stroudsburg. So make sure you join us at Teddy's University for the next edition of the ESU Coaches Show. I'm Chuck Seese. Thanks a lot for tuning in, and we'll talk to you next Thursday night.